I created a viral TikTok ad and this is what happened to my sales. As you can see, these are current results from around 5 or 6 days ago to show that we're still pulling some great numbers. This is the Shopify dashboard. I'll even go ahead and then press reload so you can see we're refreshing it and it's completely the same. You can also go ahead and press on today and we still have some pretty good results today as well. And here are also some results from that same day from some of these creatives that I'm running on Facebook. As you can see, we made a pretty healthy amount of revenue and the absolutely printed cash. But how did I actually do it? Here is also my TikTok ads manager. Not many people are going to be showing you these actual results. As you can see, over time, this is the amount of sales which we made with just one campaign. And then some of the other campaigns also have a few hundred sales as well. And they've got a healthy ROAS, which is between 2 to 3 ROAS, sometimes even more. And we're doing days that went over 4 ROAS. So some pretty crazy results here. I also want to click on the last 90 days, which is basically how long we've been running this, just to show you the actual revenue, to show you that I'm not joking. And as you can see, we've got some pretty crazy figures here. But how did I actually do it? Well, I'm actually going to explain today how you can actually make some killer ad creatives that actually convert for TikTok and Facebook. I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to make great ad videos and the formula which I use to actually structure them and create them when I'm actually running campaigns, and the actual process I use when I ran this particular product. So the first thing is understand the audience, okay? Because when you've done your product research and you've actually found a product, you need to actually really understand the audience, the target customer who is going to be buying this product, okay? Because every single product has its own audience. So the customer avatar is basically the ideal person which you're going to be selling to. This is marketing 101, just basics, right? So describe them, just think of their interests, what do they actually do themselves and what do they actually need and how can you actually fulfill that through selling this product, okay? Can you solve the problems or solve their pain points? This is basic marketing, okay? Very simple stuff. Now, whenever you actually find a product with potential, you need to understand who are you actually selling it to. Leverage their own desires and kind of, it seems quite dark, but use them against them because that's how you're going to make a sale, which will actually do through the creative itself. So for an example, depending on the actual platform we're selling it on, you can use certain language or certain slang or a certain tone that kind of customer would have. So if it's like a teenage girl, for an example, in your ad, kind of speak from that perspective so you can kind of relate to them in a way because that's the target audience you're going to be selling to. You also want to showcase the product clearly. So depending on the actual product, this is going to be a lot different how you're going to approach this. So for an example, you can show it off really effectively in your ad creatives. So beauty products, let's say, have a clear before and after effect. So we can compare how they are before we use the product and then how the results were after we used it to show a clear use of the product to show it actually works in action. This is really effective. This is why people sell beauty, because it's easy to sell. It's easy to show the product which is proven to work via this method. So if you don't have your own footage, you want to source footage of TikTok or social media in general. This high resolution and also high quality. Don't use bad footage. Don't use pixelated or grainy footage. It's just going to make your ad creatives look terrible. We want to make it look branded, make it look professional, and try to use different shots or angles. Just like on YouTube, when we're trying to like edit for retention, we want to do the exact same in ad creative, okay? Show things from different angles, make it look attractive, make it look something that can be desired. And if it's a niche product, for example, make sure it's in the environment that the product would be in. So for an example, if we're selling fishing tackling gear for people who are anglers or want to fish, don't show that product in a kitchen. That's absolutely ridiculous. Show it in the environment that it's supposed to be used in. So creating engagement, how do we engage people in our ads? So the first few seconds of our ad, I'm talking literally 1 to 3 seconds in, we want to hook the viewer. So this is what I like to call the money shot. This is basically your hook, and this is going to make or it's going to break your conversion rate. So you should aim to create a really powerful hook in this ad within the first few seconds to target the viewer and stop them from scrolling. So a lot of people call this the scroll stopper because people are mindlessly flicking up on the screen on TikTok and just scrolling constantly through ads and video content. Hook them before they do this. Then the goal after this hook, if you've actually successfully hooked them, the goal is then to actually keep them watching. So that's retention, retain the view. Now, a good way that I find effective for retention is creating some kind of story around the product or a narrative, but this doesn't always work. I don't always use this. For an example, this product I'm selling, I didn't really use too much of a story around it because it was just able to convert from some other things which I'll mention. I definitely did have a structure to the ad, and that's what you want. So make sure it has a structure or a story or some kind of narrative, and make sure it has really great pacing. It needs to stay clear, it needs to be concise, it needs to be very straight to the point, not too much filler. Don't fill it up with loads of gunk that doesn't need to be there. Be straight to the point. So most of my ads which I've edited, which have actually been successful, have been 7 to 15 seconds. I find like this is typically the sweet spot. This is like the generic kind of duration duration for successful videos on Vine and TikTok. 7 seconds on Vine and TikTok, which is their app that they made after, is like up to 15 seconds. That's what I find works really well. If you've ever made content on TikTok, if you make any more than 15 seconds, it usually doesn't get as many views. 15 seconds or under is what I recommend for creatives, okay? Honestly, anything under 15 seconds just performs the best for me. I never really do anything longer. I like to do it as short as possible with what I'm working with, and I'm always doing regular cuts every 3 to 4 seconds to keep it interesting, because people, we like to describe it as TikTok brain, right? People just have a really short attention span, almost to an ADHD level when they're scrolling on TikTok, so make sure they don't click off. Then we also have the call to action, so we're telling you, the viewer, to actually buy the product, and we do this by making it clear the next step that they need to take to actually go from here on the ad to actually get the product themselves. So you should make it very visible. You should have a very visible, clear call to action in your ad creatives. Make sure the customer knows exactly what to do at the end of the ad. Usually something basic, just like click shop now or something like that, is usually more than enough. That's usually just what I do. Most people do that. Shop now, and then they can just click the button below. Use an urgency or scarcity as well, like a limited sale or an offer is a really great way to actually push them to take the action and make the call to action effective. Okay, so if your ad contains something related to your offer, which I usually like to do, then they're more likely to actually click, and then the call to action is effective. Now, optimizing for vertical video is really important because we're on social media, everyone's using their mobile. The amount of desktop viewers is quite low. Not many customers are going to be using the desktop version, so your ad should primarily be optimized for mobile viewers, okay? So unless you're on Facebook, where people typically also use Facebook on desktop a lot, then you want to focus on vertical video, because most of the traffic from Meta is also from Instagram anyway, which is mainly used on a mobile. So make sure it's in 9:16 aspect ratio, so that vertical aspect, anything that's vertical aspect. And also, if you can add subtitles to improve the viewer experience, that can also be good too, because if we want to improve our conversion rate, even though it's a really small percentage of people, remember that some people are actually deaf and they obviously can't hear anything. And also a lot of people are just on the phone after their bedtime if they're a younger viewer, or they're on the phone late when other people are sleeping and they can't use audio or sound, but they can still click things on the phone and buy a product. So if you have subtitles where they don't need to actually hear the sound to understand it, then you can still convert some more sales from those groups of people as well. So that's really important that not many people actually think about. Next is testing. So when we have the basic structure of the ad, we need to test lots of ads to see what actually works and how we can actually change our hooks and general structure. So at the height of the campaigns that I was running on TikTok specifically, I was making around 10 to 15 ad creatives every single week to recycle into my campaign structure. This is because my ad strategy is kind of a little bit different. It's kind of complex, it's unique. It's not really the typical TikTok ad strategy most people use. So that's why I need to keep making ads. I have my own way. I've made videos on like my TikTok ad strategy if you want to copy it. Basically, creatives do die quickly on TikTok. They don't die as quick as that like every week, but they do die pretty quickly. You need to recycle new ad creatives, keep editing to keep your product actually converting, okay? So that's why I was editing so many ads. Now, when you find a creative that works, what you want to do is you want to try to model the next one off that one that actually worked, and then create a winning formula from that as a system. So this is how I kept making ads that converted. I found a framework and system that worked, and then I just kept editing ads which kind of appeared in that same system, and then I kept making money. I originally imitated a competitor during the product research, and then I just kept using that formula of the ones that I originally made to imitate that, and it just kept working, so I kept recycling the system. Social proof. So I like to use social proof, especially with products like beauty products. I don't usually typically sell beauty, but this is an example which works really well with this, okay? So you can use clips of influencers that are trying the product, using the product, showing off their experience, or giving some kind of review of the product, and edit multiple people into the ad, and this works really well with social proofing. I usually tend to kind of try and sell products which are already working. I don't like to just test hundreds of products that don't have any data. So if you are testing something new though, which doesn't have many people testing it or selling it, no effective data to show that it's working yet, then you're probably not going to have a lot of content to actually use for your ads. So you can order UGC for this. For an example, there's websites out there like Viral Ecom Ads, or there's actual UGC creators on social media you can individually contact as well. All these kind of methods, you can actually get custom content made from you by influencers to actually have content to then edit into ads. So there's a few different ways that we can actually do content when we don't have much to actually edit, but I usually like to test stuff that's already proven to work. Using trending themes, formats, and sounds is also really effective, and it's something that I always make use of. Make sure to leverage current trends on social media. So on TikTok, there's always different viral TikTok videos, viral video ideas and formats that are always going around, and especially the main thing you want to focus on, especially if you're not that big on TikTok like I wasn't. I didn't originally really understand the platform. Focusing on viral songs is really good. So not many people know this, and I've shared this to a few people I've talked to, but not everyone knows that TikTok has kind of like a billboard chart or like a weekly chart which updates, or it might even update every day. And it basically shows trending songs right now that are getting a lot of views off different TikToks. It'll show you some examples using those songs, and then you can click on them, listen to them. If you like them, you can then use them, download them somewhere off the internet, and then use those in your TikToks. Because if they're trending, people might just watch your ad just because they like the song, and then when they've listened to the song, they might think, oh, that product's good, let's click the link. So using those trends can be good. Using TikTok video idea styles can also be good. So if there's like a typical like narrative style to a video, you can incorporate that into an ad as well, and that can obviously get you some good engagement. So I like to use hot songs. I also just use some random songs which I like. Sometimes that works well, and this is a hack which I use basically for all my TikTok ads that works. But I also research what ads are working right now on my ad spy tools, and I use those same songs as them as well, or use the same format or pacing, and I remake new ads for a different product, my product, in that same style, and that also works well too. So now I'm going to show you the exact winning ad formula and structure which I use, bringing together all this information I've given you so far to make these kind of numbers every single day, and the numbers and data I showed you at the start of this video. So this is completely free, so I want you to watch till the end of this video so you can make sure you don't miss that, because there's a whole bunch of value to get for free in this video. I don't even know why I'm sharing it, honestly. But first, I want to talk about how you can actually find products like this to actually use this formula on. If you're struggling with finding products which actually work and really convert and make some real sales, and you're tired of spending countless hours scrambling trying to find things during product research just for your ads to then end up flopping, then let me tell you something which I've been using for quite a while now, and it's an absolute game changer. This is Miner. There's a bunch of premium product lists which you can unlock, which features the top 100 winning products on Facebook, on TikTok, and also on Pinterest, along with top 100 trending e-commerce shops which are converting right now. This will show you a ton of ads on each of these platforms that people are selling right now and making a whole bunch of money with. As you can see, there's so many suggestions. They found winning creatives and winning shops for you to check out. Also, along with the top 10 products of the day on each platform, these are the best performing ad creatives from the last few months. You can watch them and then learn from them, or download them and rip them, but I don't condone that. Now, the ad spy tool is the main core of why I actually like this, because you can actually dive deep into the actual data of things. So yet again, we can have a look at Facebook, Pinterest, or TikTok, and this brings you things like weekly winners, what's working right now, the monthly best performers, and also even the Q4 winners from the previous year. But the filters basically let you hone in on the perfect products by the dates, the media type, do you want to have a look at images or video ads, the engagement such as likes, comments, and shares, and also we can filter by Shopify products, and we can filter specific dropshipping only products to find people who are selling with dropshipping, so we can actually filter out the brands who obviously have their own custom products. Now, if you're looking to scale, the shops browser is something which is quite useful because it shows people who are actually performing well. We can see products which are selling a lot. For example, this Australian gadget shop. We can have a look at who's converting a lot on Facebook, who's converting a lot on TikTok. Then we can see high ticket stores. So these are stores selling products for expensive prices, dropshipping only stores, and also single one product stores which are only selling one winning product. This is how we can find items that could skyrocket our success, and we could find brands which are selling things which are quite untapped. Now, for those of you guys who've watched my channel for literally months, you can go back and look at my old videos, and you can see I've genuinely actually been using Miner in product research for a very long time. The product research tool is actually a feature that's helped me actually spot some pretty good trending products before the competition. This has some of the same filters, and we can find winning products on all different platforms here. To be honest, I prefer this from the ad spy because it actually lets us see which products are working, and then we can take a look at ads from multiple competitors on those products. Now, if we click on a product such as this shower head and then we press see more, what I really do like is this generate for Shopify function, which basically slashes the product listing and testing times, and it saves you a whole bunch of time. You can basically select the language, then you can select an AI generated product name as well as some features that you can type in, or use the pre-generated ones such as the ones that they've generated on the list with AI. Then it will generate you an SEO optimized product description with sales copy and images in seconds, and then we can just list this directly on our Shopify store. So we can list products really quickly instead of spending hours setting them up before we test them. So if you're aggressively testing a lot of products, this saves you a whole bunch of time. There's also an influencer section here on Miner which allows you to do influencer marketing. This allows you to connect with some influencers who can actually promote your brand, which is particularly good if you're actually going the branded route or if you want to white label a product. If you want want to dominate social media like TikTok and Instagram, you might want to hire some of these creators to actually promote your product and offer a little bit more social proof. You can also take a look at promotions which other brands are making right now with some of these influencers to see how they actually promote their brand through the influencers to get an idea on how you can do influencer marketing yourself. There's some good insights with this tool. Now, the Success Radar is a list that not everyone is going to have access to. This basically comes with a business plan, which I have, and it basically offers a list of hot products which updates every few hours, which have competition scores here, which basically shows how competitive a product is and how saturated it is. So you can identify unsaturated winners. So products which have the highest score are usually typically popular, but they're the least saturated. So you can hopefully identify those products where there's room in the market still to sell them. The magic search function is also quite useful. We could type in a keyword, for an example, projector, and we could search for products on the different ad platforms which match this key phrase, and it'll find us those products. You can also click search by image here and upload an image to also search for a product with it. Not to mention, on the product pages themselves, you can also click this button which says find suppliers. This basically allows you to quickly find a supplier for the product, such as Zendrop or AliExpress, where you can find someone who can fulfill it for your customer. So if you're struggling to source a product, you can find on Miner and then find a supplier to actually source it for you. If you're ready to take dropshipping seriously this year and get some serious sales, it's important that you focus more on your product research. And if you don't know how to validate a product, then using a tool like Miner can really help you to do so and gain an edge over the competition, particularly because they're offering you all the data and they're doing the research for you. So you basically save a bunch of time by using this tool, and you can analyze the market a lot easier than manually scrolling through social media. Check out the link in the description down below, deanalma.com/miner, if you do want to check out this tool. Sign up right now and just see the difference that it makes for you and your store and success in 2024. I use this tool. It's pretty useful. I use a whole bunch of tools, but this is definitely one of the best ones that I'm using right now. Let's move on to the ad formula as promised. So my winning ad formula is as follows. So let me explain it in the best way possible. You want to first start with a strong hook that basically grabs the viewer in the first 1 to 3 seconds. An example of this would be, attention dog owners, are you having a problem with fleas? So you're basically directly targeting the customer and then you're asking if they have a certain problem, and then you want to introduce the product as the solution to this problem. So you could say, example, introducing the flea comb, you never have to deal with fleas again, something like that. And then you want to introduce the benefits of the product. So this would be things like effectively remove fleas, a chemical and pet safe product or pet safe solution, enhances your dog's coat, suitable for all dogs, easy to use, saves thousands of dollars. Basically show those benefits throughout the ad with subtitles and clips to back them up. And then basically after you show all the benefits, then you want to move on to social proof. So an example would be, like we described before, show multiple clips of different TikTok users or pet owners speaking really highly of that product or reviewing it with really short quick cuts between them, so we have multiple people vouching for the product. You can also use celebrities if the celebrities use that product or something similar as well. Then you want to highlight the offer before we close the ad. So it would be, for an example, 50% off today only, and then close it with a call to action with shop now or click shop now. And that's literally it. Hook, call out the customer, ask if they've got a problem, introduce the product and solution, benefits, social proof, the offer, call to action. Very simple. So this is how I structure all my ads. It's the best way that I found is effective, that actually allows me to have high converting ads. This generates some of those numbers which I showed you at the start of the video. I hope this ad formula has helped you make some really serious solid creatives. You guys can use the same system, and I hope it helps you make you some big money in 2024. All I ask is if you subscribe to the channel and like this video, and I'm going to keep sharing lots of free value. So if you're serious about transforming your life this year with dropshipping and you want to learn e-commerce and actually get some results, I'm looking to help around 5 people or less this year exclusively. People are actually really serious. If you want to try and get your first 1K day, for an example, send me a message on Instagram at the Blue Crusader and I'll try and help you out. And if you want to see some more of these strategies, the private strategies I'm using right now to make some of these numbers, then what you can do is click the link down below and join my private Discord. In there, what I'm doing is I'm sharing insights on creating ad creatives, just like I shared in this video, exclusive PDF guides and other source, as well as a community that can obviously help you out, which is growing every single week. Click the link below, join that if you actually want to make some money. It has more content than any other Discords out there because I actually share all the information. I don't just copy and paste information like all these other fake gurus, because I am actually doing this myself. I also post all of my results regularly, usually every single week or every few weeks inside the Discord, so you can see the real numbers I'm actually doing with proof. And unlike these other fake gurus, I am actually drop shipping, so I'm actually doing what I'm preaching. So remember to like the video and subscribe, and I'll keep making these videos in return, and let's grow this channel in 2024 and make some serious money.